Hey YouTubers, this is EMDFC14 coming to you live from the Keystone State. This is a new update video on my F11 units. This is a project update video. I haven't done any project updates on my custom F11 units, but I just decided to do one because it's been some time since I actually did something. Not much has changed on the units. I was able to finally, what I did is I adjusted the coupler height on both A units because it was too low. So now both the coupler heights are correct. If you just take your coupler height gauge right here, and there you go, it is the correct height. So I used that, and I actually had to trim off a good portion of the front plow here so that this coupler could swing freely. But that wasn't really too big of an issue. And then what I did is I added a diaphragm here. Now this one doesn't have springs in it. This is basically identical or similar to what the Burlington Northern did when they rebuilt their Northern Pacific Northern Pacific units for their executive train. They actually extended the diaphragm out here, but it was actually just one solid piece, and they just put rubber tubes on the ends here, so it was all metal here. And I basically done a similar fashion with that, and I used another F unit diaphragm section, rear door section, to extend it. I did the same thing with the other A unit here. Coupler height is already corrected. I still need a front coupler for this one. The other thing I did is I removed the steam generator details from this unit here. So all the steam generator details are removed because these are freight locomotives. They don't need steam generators. And this one was already removed, but I just removed that detail right there. Now this is the F11 B, and if you guys remember, there were 3 radiator fans on top of the unit here. I was looking at this 2 nights ago, and I was looking at this like I'm looking at it right now. And I really got tired of looking at those fans because, first of all, the roof wasn't really evenly filed, and it just looked terrible. So what I did is I took my Dremel tool and I cut out the center roof section, used styrene, a thick piece of styrene. I forget what the thickness is, but it's pretty thick. It's basically comparable to what the Bachmann shells are as far as thickness, but it might be a little thicker. Anyway, I filled this section in here, and I basically took this F11B and I just turned it into a slug because it just didn't really look cool with those 3 fans. Now hypothetically, if I wanted to add new exhaust fan details on the roof, I could do that, but I don't have the excuse me, I don't have the proper tools for that yet. So that is why I'm just going to leave it alone. And I also added the body mounted couplers. I removed the metal coupler tabs because they weren't really adequate. The Athearn Blue Box models and the Athearn Ready to Roll F units, the length between the units is very great. And even though I added the diaphragms on here, it really is, there's still a gap. So what my option, so what I'm thinking about doing is I'm thinking about doing what the brass companies did with their A and B units. When they have an A and a B unit set, the A unit would have a kingpin in the rear coupler box, and then the B unit would have a drawbar, and then the B unit would have the coupler on this end, and the A unit would have the coupler on this end. So I'm thinking about doing that arrangement because I want it to be prototypically correct like this. Of course, I gotta extend the diaphragms on the B unit as well, so that's gonna, I do have some spare shells for that, but my ultimate goal is to have these all close coupled together. And the B unit does have a head and power unit, as you guys can see. That's all custom done by me. So this B unit, even though it's a slug, it doesn't have a prime mover in it. It just has traction motors. And all these units are AC equipped anyway, but the B unit technically can be used in freight or in passenger service. I don't know, I might just keep it in passenger service just because, and then just have these 2 be the freight units. but I'm not sure yet. I'm really leaning toward keeping this B unit, this slug, I should say slug, in passenger service, because it doesn't really make any sense to have a slug rolling around on a freight train when it has a head and power unit installed and it can be used on a passenger train. My other option is buying another B unit and turning it into a slug. And this is actually the first one I've done like this. I'm not even kidding. Very first one I've ever done like this. And it came out flawlessly. Inside the shell there's a piece of styrene that's bracing it, so it actually gives this rigidity. Matter of fact, when the glue was still drying, actually prior to gluing it, I actually test fitted it, and once I found out it fit, I actually pressed it down, got it completely even with the roof line so that there wouldn't be any imperfections, and I basically glued it in place and let it sit for a while, and then I came back and I checked, and then that's how it is. Now, if you're probably wondering how I got that cut so precise, I left the body shell on the frame when I was cutting it. If you take the body shell off, you're technically going to have looseness in the body when you cut it, because the plastic tends to heat up, and what the chassis does when you're cutting it, it keeps the shell perfectly aligned. So yeah, but I also did some filing to correct that issue. But yeah, this is what I've been doing. Nothing really much else has been going on. I still got to get my Merska unit powered, 146. That, unlike the Athearn ready to roll units, that's completely 100% custom. That started life as an Athearn Blue Box Jeep 60, and it got the I think that's a Details Associates Jeep 60 cab added onto it, and it's got the custom paint, custom decals for it. I need to get that powered. That unit, I haven't been able to run that unit almost 2 years, and those units are especially hard to find, but I'm going to get that one up and running. But yeah, so I just wanted to share this with you guys. Alright, so you guys be cool, and hopefully I'll have more updates on these units for you. Hopefully I'll have a front coupler on this unit this weekend, hopefully when I go to Stroudsburg. Only thing is, Stroudsburg doesn't sell the screws I need. I had to go to Nicholas Smith for that. So we'll have to see if I can find them there. If not, then I'm gonna have to make a double trip. Maybe one on Sunday and one on Monday, if I can, because the Stroudsburg train store, the one near the museum, that's open 7 days a week, 10 to 5, 7 days a week. So I think it's 10 to 5. Yeah, I know they close at 5. I think it's 10 to 5. Alright, but you guys be cool, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll try to get more updates on these units soon. They're almost finished. They're almost finished. All I need to do is add the grab irons on the side, add the diaphragms to those units, and see if I can use that brass locomotive trick that I've seen. If I can find those parts, if I can buy those parts separately and put the drawbar on the B unit here. Well, if I put the drawbar on the B unit, that basically means it'll have to run with these two F units here, these two A units. Yeah. Or if I can get a close coupling kit, to reduce that gap, then I would be very much happy. I would be extremely happy to get that done, because that gap, I mean, it's terrible. It doesn't look prototypically correct. I like these units. Don't get me wrong, Athearn Blue Boxes are awesome, and these are super powered units, by the way. That means they're heavier than the normal ones. These are super powered units, so they pull anything. So yeah, that's why I chose them for my F11 projects too. Both of them are, these units are getting non-turbocharged 645 prime movers, and they're going to be putting out about 2600 HP. About that. And that's a root, I think that's a roots blown 645, not a roots blown 567. Sorry, 645. Not a roots, you know what I mean, 645. I'm tired and I need to go to sleep. So I will be seeing you guys later. Be cool, and bye y'all.